Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to another video. On today's video, guys, we're going to be looking at the words of Hansi Flick, at the words of Dani Olmo, and as well at the words of Simone Inzaghi and Bastoni. As everyone, they have spoken ahead of that monumental clash in the Champions League, Barcelona versus Inter Milan. The winner takes all, and we'll be advancing to the UCL final. We're going to be looking at the words of the players, seeing who is going to be available for that match. With Liz and Robert Lewandowski, Balde, is Bastoni going to, no, not Bastoni, is Benjamin Pavard going to be involved? Is Lautaro Martinez going to be involved? We're going to be talking about that on today's video. But as always, guys, make sure to follow me on all of my social media platforms. Everything's posted down below in the description. Go over there and check me out. That way you can stay up to date with everything that I do on the channel. But guys, let's get started with the video. All right, guys, let's get started with the video and let's talk about Hansi Flick, as he did speak ahead of tomorrow's match against Inter. And it's going to be a very difficult match, guys. Inter Milan, a team that is just so tricky to play. It's basically Barcelona's, and I would say, what's the word? I would say something sort of similar to a nemesis, because their style of play, it's Barcelona's kryptonite in some sort of sense. And Barcelona, we're gonna have to show some of the best football that we played throughout this season in order to beat this Inter Milan team. Hansi Flick, he spoke in his press conference, and he said, like in the first leg, I told the players to enjoy the match. I don't want to put pressure on them. And I think Barcelona winning the Copa del Rey and the Super Cup, I think that does play into this statement right here, because winning those two trophies, it makes things so much easier going into this game. Because imagine if Barcelona we hadn't won those trophies, we would have been coming into this game with so much more pressure. And that is not what we want. Hansi Flick, he talks about Inter's strengths, and we obviously know. He says Inter is very strong defensively and also very good in transitions. We need to avoid giving them chances. And this is going to be where Barcelona, we're going to have to be so good. That high line, we cannot make zero mistakes. And in regards to those set pieces, we need to make sure that we don't concede early and make sure we are very solid defensively as well. Hansi Flick, he gives credit to Dumfries for his first leg performance. He says maybe we weren't positioned well or didn't have the right player there. That has to change. Maybe positions, maybe players. He talks about that. He talks about a possible change in that lineup, and we're going to be talking about that in a little bit more, but especially on today's episode later on tonight. Hansi Flick, he talks about the team's achievement, what the team has achieved so far throughout the season. He says at the start of the season, we didn't expect to achieve this much. We've already won 2 titles, and in regards to how the season has gone as a whole, the season has been very successful. From where we've came from, being in Europe, in the Europa League for 2 years in a row, basically under Xavi, to now being in the situation where we are potentially going and vying for a treble. I want to give credit to Hansi Flick for the work that he's been able to do. Obviously, you had Xavi there stabilizing the ship and everything. But Hansi Flick, he's been able to take this team and take it to the next level. Hansi Flick, he talks about Lewandowski, whether he's going to be involved, and he says Lewandowski will start on the bench. He's feeling good and can come in if we need him. And in regards to Robert Lewandowski, he did train and he did receive the medical green light, and so he will be involved against Inter Milan, and he's going to be very key. Because if Barcelona, they are chasing a goal, he can be there as a number 9, being a reference point. If Barcelona, if we want to be defending these set pieces, he's a great option. But he's very good in the air, and as well, he is a player who is the best striker in the world. He can score goals. He can be an option coming off the bench if Barcelona, if they want to get an extra goal, or they want to basically shore up the attack and everything. Hansi Flick, he talks about Lamine Yamal, and he says Lamine is a genius. Every pass he makes is right. The pressure he applies is correct. He was sensational in the first leg, but that's his job. And it's crazy, guys, because it wasn't only Hansi Flick who was praising the words. It wasn't only Hansi Flick who was praising Lamine Yamal, but also the opposition. Simone Inzaghi, he spoke about Lamine, and he says we will decide with the technical staff. No, this is in regards to the Lautaro Martinez and Pavard. It says Lamine will be double marked. We need to double or even triple mark Lamine Yamal. Bastoni, he says this in regards to Lamine. He says Lamine is the toughest player I have ever faced. I'm amazed at the level he's reached, and with his ability to create chances, he's the best. And we have to do what we did in the first leg, double his marking. I even doubled it. But Barcelona isn't just about Yamal. They have a very good attack, and that is crazy. These guys are treating Lamine Yamal as Thanos, as a crazy villain that they need to stop, and that's insane praise for what is going to be a player who's going to be super, super vital in Barcelona's match against Inter. We're going to need Lamine Yamal to be the difference maker on the night. We're going to need him to show that level. And in regards to the opposition, guys, Inzaghi, he spoke about the players who could potentially be available. Your Lautaro Martinez, your Benjamin Pavard. And his words in his press conference were, we will decide with the technical staff and the players themselves. They have to tell me how they feel. For Pavard, the feeling is pretty good. As for Lautaro, he hasn't trained since the Barcelona match. We'll see his condition today. And now things are, after Simone Inzaghi, he said this. He said these words in the press conference. There were more reports coming out, and things were not very positive in regards to Benjamin Pavard. Right now, the latest is that he will not be available for that match. He basically exited Inter's training session midway due to the ankle discomfort due to that injury, and so he isn't going to be involved. But let's see. I do not want to rule anything out. Things are a little bit more positive in regards to Lautaro Martinez. Lautaro Martinez. Right now, he is going to be involved, whether from the start or from the bench. That's up to Simone Inzaghi, but it's most likely going to be the start. And so, Inter, they do receive a boost, but obviously Pavard not going to be there. We know that Jules Koundé and Alejandro Balde on Barcelona side, they're not going to be involved. That's a big, big blow for us. But Hansi Flick, he spoke about that, and he hinted at potential changes. And in regards to that, guys, I ask you, would you guys make changes to that back line? Would you guys maybe play Inigo Martinez as the left back? Would you guys bring in Andres Christensen, who's been phenomenal in these past two games? Would you guys play Ron Araujo to counter Thuram and to counter the speed that they can have in transition? What do you guys do? I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Hansi Flick, he talks about defending corners, defending set pieces. He says, we'll make small changes. The players know what to do in these situations, and that gives me confidence. Hopefully, Barcelona, in these practice sessions, in these training sessions, hopefully they practice that and say, hey, for Bisek, Inigo Martinez or Ron Araujo, you're going to be defending him. You're going to be defending this area, and you're going to be marking these positions, because we've seen how Inter Milan, they've been able to damage and hurt Barcelona in these set pieces, and we need to make sure that doesn't happen again. But at the end of the day, guys, Hansi Flick, he talks about the squad mentality. He says the team is playing well, we're connected, and enjoying football together, and that's what we want to do. We want to make sure we enjoy the match tomorrow. It's the type of game that us Barcelona fans, we want to be involved in, and let's make sure tomorrow is a momentous and a happy occasion. But that wasn't it, guys. Usually in these press conferences, it's not only Hansi Flick who speaks in them, but also another player. And Dani Olmo, he spoke in this press conference, and he says, in the locker room, it feels like a celebration. The group is healthy and focused on winning. And I really like this attitude. The attitude from the squad that says, hey, you know what? We're happy. We're excited. We're a team that is in a very good period, in a very good period, and we're looking to continue that winning momentum. It just gives me so much confidence compared to other Barcelona teams in the past. We're saying, like, how are we gonna face this Inter Milan team? Can we beat them? What can we do in Europe? That mentality is nowhere near this team. Dani Olmo, he speaks about the significance of the match. He says it's a huge opportunity. 10 years without a final. We're excited and ready. We're healthy, motivated, and one match away from another final. We'll think about Madrid afterward. And obviously, he speaks about his personal goals. He says, I came to Barca to win. 2 trophies already and 2 more to go. We're all in with the coach's vision. He says, I imagine reaching this point in the season We're united, confident, and know how we want to play. And let's hope that Barcelona, with Dani Olmo, who, he hasn't been performing that well in these past recent games. And, we're going to need him in order to have an amazing performance against Inter. We're going to need him to get a goal. We're going to need him in order to break that deep block that they do have. And let's hope we are able to celebrate tomorrow with a win. But guys, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Who do you guys think will be involved in tomorrow's match? And what are your score predictions? I will be having a video later on tonight, the episode where we'll be able to talk about the Inter Milan match in a little bit more detail, have a preview as well. And I want to hear your score predictions down below. But as always, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And see you guys all in the next video. Peace out, guys.